Right. And that's really, you run a professional real estate investment company. And there's a significant difference when you start to get into that world where you got your mom and pop investors where they're picking up one or two a year, maybe. And then you switch to the company where you are scaled up. You've built a machine that trades in real estate. And that's what I've noticed exactly what you're saying, where once you're at that level, it's not pick a strategy and stick with it forever. It's what does the market say the strategy is that I need to use? That is who is determining it.
Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Show, where we interview real estate investing professionals from coast to coast, as well as the service providers that serve the real estate investing industry. Our goal is simple: share what's working now to help you improve and scale your business to the next level and meet the pros that can help you get there. Real Estate Pros is powered by Investor Fuel, America's leader in helping real estate investors and professionals build the business you need to live the life you've always dreamed of. Let's start today's show. Property insurance for real estate investors doesn't have to be difficult, but it does need to be there to protect you when you need it. MyInvestorInsurance.com not only provides insurance at 15 to 30% cheaper than traditional agencies, it's built specifically for real estate investors like you. You can set up an account in about 2 minutes, get quotes on properties, turn on and turn off insurance for your fix and flip or rental properties in around 2 minutes without having to talk to anyone directly, all through our portal. There's no better way or faster way to make sure you've got the coverage you need to protect you, and no more lengthy policies either. Once you're set up, you're billed monthly and prorated by the day for however long your policy is active. It's powered by MSI, the third largest independent MGA, with 1.5 million customers and more than $1 billion in cumulative premiums written. Get set up today in about 2 minutes at myinvestorinsurance.com/fuel.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Real Estate Pros Podcast. I'm your host, Micah Johnson. And today I'm joined by Bob Lachance, who's been making some serious moves in real estate for quite some time now. Bob, welcome in, man. Glad to have you.
Okay, thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Absolutely, man. I'm pumped for our call today. You've got some cool experience in the business, not just investing, but also running a VA company. We've interacted before, man. I'm pumped for what you're getting ready to bring. So let's dive in. For folks who may not know you yet, tell us a little more about you and what your main focus is right now.
Yeah, absolutely. So I have a real estate investment company up here in Connecticut. We mainly focus, we've been doing stuff in different states, but now we kind of honed in our own backyard up here in Connecticut. So it's very interesting in how things change. I know we talked about this before we jumped on a call on how markets change and things like that. So we're really honing in on our backyard right today. And we do a lot of different wholesaling, buy and resell, some a small fix and flip, but mostly on the wholesale side is what we focus in on. And also my virtual assistant company. I use my virtual assistants in our own business as well. That's been in business. I started my first virtual assistant company back in 2014. Fast forward today, I think we're around 600 VAs right now. So
Wow. Man, that's before even anyone knew what a VA was. 14, that's like the OG VA service, dude. Love that.
yeah, I didn't even know what a VA was. It was kind of funny because I was with a coaching program called Fortune Builders back in the day, 2007, which we helped start. This is when they were going strong, and every time I did coaching calls with them, I would always say, all right, there's got to be a service, there's got to be a product there that'll help these students do actually the tasks that are being done. And then it took 7 years for me to actually know what a virtual assistant was. That was 2013. Then light bulb went on. I'm like, hey, you know what? This could be a business. So it's pretty cool.
It is, and it's a game changer for your company, especially in the real estate investment world. VAs are incredible assets in the right positions. And that's something y'all have done a great job with. I've interacted with the company outside of here, where getting the right people for the right spots, especially that are real estate oriented, knowing what to do in this arena, man, that's the game changer.
Yeah, and I think it's important too. You look at every state, we see every state minimum wage going up, right? Minimum wage is never going to go down. And we in the Philippines, we have 4-year college degree virtual assistants. And I know for me in Connecticut, it's very difficult to get somebody who has a 4-year college degree that'll accept minimum wage. So what you have to do then, you're hiring the lesser of the individual that you want to hire. That's why right now the Philippines works.
Right, because it like you're saying, it's not just nobody sitting there. It's a highly educated
Yeah.
person that's working hard. I've worked hand in hand with him and enjoyed every moment, man. It is like I said, a real asset to your business. So I want to jump on one thing real quick because you were talking about market changes, and you're someone that gets to see that on a grand scale and the nuance scale. So what is it that y'all have seen changing over, the last year or so that's got y'all zoomed more in on that backyard, kind of tightening in that stability there?
Stop living on an island and join the #1 mastermind in America for professional real estate investors. Investor Fuel is a community of hundreds of the nation's top investors working together to build stronger businesses and better lives. In addition to the amazing community of real estate investors acting as a board of advisors for one another, Investor Fuel members have access to 100% funding on purchase and repairs for our members only, a health insurance program, and benefits and discounts that more than pays for the membership of most of our members, meaning it's actually costing you money to not be a member of Investor Fuel. If you're looking to scale your business and build a business that allows you to live the life of your dreams, please visit investorfuel.com today and book a call with our team.
Yeah, I think days on the market's going up everywhere, right? And obviously it's higher. We talked about this. Florida's going a little higher. Texas going a little higher. Connecticut just is ticking up a little bit. Obviously, it's winter time right now. Open the spring market, it kind of shrinks down again where buyers are coming out of the woodwork. But that's what you typically see at this time of year where it does typically slow down up in the northeast right now. But we're just keeping an eye on that, how long those days on the market are, etc.
Right. Right. Yeah. And it's something that is popping up everywhere. So it's interesting, man. That's the thing about real estate is it's always changing. It is a
Yeah.
lifelong learning game. Like you don't get into it and learn one thing and feel like you've learned something. Because if that's the case, man, you're getting left behind fast.
Yeah,
Like, it is a relentless cycle.
it's funny you say that because everything is cycles. You look at, how you're doing business today may not be the same way you're doing business tomorrow. You have strategies like novations that some areas it's easier to do, other areas are starting to change. Wholesaling is starting to change to where now you got to go back to fix and flip. It's just the way it is. I started my first year in business started in 2004, which obviously I'm aging myself now, but you see a lot of different changes. And I think it's important to understand that it's okay when things change. Like we were talking about, you just have to stay ahead of the curve and you always need to understand that this business changes and it's okay. We have to change with it.
What's been your best way for staying ahead of the curve?
I think it's just learning different strategies. One point's buy and hold. Once you buy and hold, and then properties appreciate, we just sold them. So as an example, so we were on a buy and hold kick a couple of years ago. Properties appreciated. We started looking at what the cash flow is compared to the equity. So we decided to sell them because here's the way I look at buy and holds, right? If you have an opportunity to make $30,000 on your buy and hold rather than making $150 per month cash flow, how many years is it going to take you to make that $30,000? And again, that's just me. I know a lot of people may disagree with me, but that's the way I look at it because I could use that $30,000 to, turn that into more than I'm going to make on that buy and hold.
Right. And that's really you run a professional real estate investment company. And
Mhm.
there's a significant difference when you start to get into that world where you got your mom and pop investors where they're picking up one or two a year, maybe. And then you switch to the company where you are scaled up. You've built a machine that trades in real estate. And that's what
Mhm.
I've noticed exactly what you're saying, where once you're at that level, it's not pick a strategy and stick with it forever. It's what does the market say the strategy is that I need to use? That is who is determining it. And through your growth period is where you add new ones, right? If you don't know novations and market's calling for novations, you better learn them because it won't be the last time the market calls for novations if you stay in the business. It's going to just rotate through them. Where, like
Yeah.
you're saying, sometimes wholesale's the deal, sometimes fix and flip is the deal. Sometimes holding's the deal, but it's understanding what do I need to do right now? That is literally how in the moment real estate is. It can change quickly. And if you won't adjust with it, it'll just leave you behind. It doesn't care. It has no dog in your fight. You are playing
Yeah.
with it.
Not at all. And I think, you can look at each exit as just a strategy, right? So if you're let's use a very good example. You have individuals that are rehabbers. When they learn how to do, let's say, wholesaling, they realize now that all the leads that they have coming in, because investors invest a lot of resources on marketing. That's where it separates us. Like, investors, this is what I've noticed in my market. Investors invest a lot more money than real estate agents do in their business. For whatever reason, why, I don't know. It's just part of how that seems to work out. But everything that you look at as an investor, it's monetizing those different leads that come in. So if you have a real estate agent license and you don't want to list them, you can refer those leads out. If you have an opportunity to wholesale a property because it doesn't fit your buy box, you can do that. So
If you're looking for consistent, high-quality leads, look no further than Investor Machine. Investor Machine isn't just another agency, it's the most sophisticated, data-driven lead generation company on the planet for real estate investors, and serves the role of being not just a lead generator for your business, but a marketing partner that is helping you achieve your goals along the way. Go to investormachine.com to learn more and schedule a call with our team today.
I think everyone should look at having those skill sets to be able to change and pivot and be able to make resources, make money on those leads that come in, because it does. We spend a lot of resources by keeping the economy going, and we hire a lot of people. Think about that one transaction. Who's in there? You have a lender, you have an appraiser, right? I mean, you have mortgage brokers, you have agents, you have attorneys, you have title companies, you have so many different individuals on one transaction, whether it's a wholesale, wholetail, novation, whatever it is. That investor, which I love, is a big part of the economy that turns, helps it to turn.
Right. It's real estate's a team sport, man. You
Yep.
can't do anything by yourself. And it's like you're saying, those marketing dollars, that's the most precious thing you're spending. It's usually one of
Mhm.
the higher things besides salaries that you're putting out each month in your
Yeah.
business, and learning how to monetize more of them coming in. You're already doing it. You're already
Yeah.
getting them into your business by now. When if you have to adjust, and you're describing what I see the best do, they run it through the flagpole. All right. Is it a
Mhm.
good wholesale? Okay, great. Would it be a good flip? Okay, maybe not. Would it be a good buy and hold? Probably not. Okay, well, let's go back down to wholesale. That's the one.
Yeah.
Boom, now it's out. And you're sending it instead of, oh, this ain't, I can't do anything with it. So that's a
Yeah.
trash lead. It's like, how many trash leads are in your system that if you just learned one more strategy, it's $1 million. There's like $1 million in your CRM, most likely, by just learning a new strategy in times like this.
Yeah, and it gives you, honestly, it gives you more resources to be able to aid the seller and help the seller in whatever they're looking to do. If they're looking to get out and sell their property, you have more opportunities and options and services to offer as well. So, which I think is very, very cool.
Right, man. I used to call it the kayak of real estate. Like a true real estate professional, when they show up for a seller, you can do it all if you're really good at it. You got the listing option, you got your novations, you got your wholesale, you got your buy it yourselves, you got all of them, because you never know, like, how most often, what is it, like 95% or something of deals don't work for wholesale. It's an
Mhm.
obnoxious amount that don't work, right? So it's, if all these other leads are coming into your system, well, if you're only trying to do that one thing, and if you're early in your career, okay, I get understanding one
Yeah.
before you add another one. But if you're really good at one and struggling, now you need to start researching and connecting with people. What is working in the
Yeah.
market? What strategy is going off out here? And then how do I go learn that? Because it's just,
Yeah.
man, your bottom line's going down and it doesn't have to.
And that's why this business too. I mean, it's kind of interesting. I know NAR kind of hurt the realtors with all the stuff that was passed. But I think it's very important for all of us still. You got to work with agents, because agents are a big part of any area, any state that do business. So I think that everyone has to be aware of that. You talked about team. You should have very good agents on your team. They don't have to be in your office. It could be some other company out there, because obviously the more different individuals you do business with, the more network you have.
Right. I'm a big proponent of adding in agents completely. I
Yep.
got started in real estate as an agent. working with an investor is what like led me to the investment world, is getting that
Yeah.
chance to start seeing like, whoa, this is a whole different ball game. This guy wants to buy 100 houses, and I wait a second, hold on, this is
Yeah.
different. Like this is, there's
Exactly.
some really good action there. And I had already agreed to work for free. And in essence,
Yeah.
like I was already out there being a realtor. I was already somebody that was hungry and doing something. And that really clicked with me of like, huh, there are other people out here. I mean,
Yeah.
there's a reason why people think realtors are the number one expert on homes. NAR spent a lot of money to make people believe that, but the really good realtors,
Correct.
they know their stuff, and they're out there every day in the market. Having a good access or a good realtor pipeline, you want to talk about balancing out your system.
Yeah.
It's a game changer, especially because it's long term. It'll keep feeding you.
If you're a new or newer real estate investor looking to launch or grow your real estate investing business, please check out Investor Fuel Club. It's a coaching community, but unlike anything you've ever seen before. And you can actually partner with members of our mastermind from coast to coast on deals right in your market. There's no better opportunity to build a consistent business than to literally partner with pros to help you avoid costly mistakes, avoid the need for capital to do deals, and help you eliminate your fears as you're starting your business. Learn more about Investor Fuel Club at investorfuel.com/club.
Yeah, and you nailed it. I mean, and not every agent is created equal. You know that, and that's the
Right.
very important part, especially if someone's newer listening to this. Talk to as many agents as you can, but not every single person is made equal. Because I don't know what the average amount. I don't have statistics, but the average amount of deals that an agent does per year is I don't know what that is, but the top number is going to be probably you probably have they probably have what 1% of the market or 1% of those
Right.
agents have the 80/20 rule, whatever that number looks like.
Exactly.
I think it's
More
important.
than that right now.
Yeah,
70% of licensed realtors in America last year did not do a deal.
really, I didn't know that.
Really? I had a guy on the
Yeah,
show the other day that was telling me the data about it, and I was like, "Man, not surprised. Not
yeah,
surprised." 'Cause that is like you're saying, if you're new at this and you're going out and meeting with realtors, first off, you're vibe checking. Is this even somebody you wanna work with? And do they work with investors? That's a very key question because you're gonna run into ones that don't. And
yeah,
they just really don't understand the game is usually what's going on because realtors aren't really taught to work with investors.
yeah,
Investors have taken it on themselves to like teach realtors how to work with them. And the more that do, it opens up a completely new stable section of your business. Like it's a real pipeline that starts to
yeah,
exist. And like you said, though, you get those right agents and you meet with them and you'll know them when you're talking to them out there. If you're
mhm,
listening and watching you, because you'll talk to enough where you realize, okay, no, no, no. Oh, wow. Yep.
yeah,
That one's going to do it. They know what I'm looking for. They get it.
that's
Okay.
right.
Let's light them up.
And one thing I do have to say is to watch out for is obviously know if you're gonna as a buyer, if you're going to have to pay the agent or if the seller is gonna pay the agent because of the most recent change. Just ask them, because a
Yeah.
lot of
Pay attention
times
to it.
pay attention.
If you're not familiar with what Bob's talking about, I think it was last year, maybe the year before, relatively in recent history, the NAR changed the commission rules for how agents get paid. Used to, the seller was on the hook for the 6%. Now it's different where the buying agent will be paid by the buyer sometimes. And you just need to know what's going on,
Yep,
check to make sure and know which line item that commission is going to end up on so it doesn't sneak up and bite you at the end.
yep,
All right, I want to change gears a little bit from there, but I feel like it really leads right in. So, along with changing your strategy in your business when it comes to dispoing, when is it a good time to start bringing in a VA? I really want to take
yep,
advantage of your knowledge. So we got a lot of pivots happening in business. You're doing these things. When is it a good time, and what should somebody be looking for, or
yeah.
thinking about when it comes to bringing a VA on?
I think up front, I mean, you look at marketing and branding, right? For us, we use these podcasts obviously to market and brand. And after we're done these podcasts, anyone could do this, right? You could go on a podcast as a guest. You could walk through a home with a camera. Once that video is created, you could send it over to your virtual assistant and they could post it up. They could create all the content. They could put all the subtitles. They could cut all of the videos up and they could post it on all your different sites, whether it's Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, etc., LinkedIn. So that would be the easiest thing because I know for me, I don't know you run into, I know you have teams now, but I know when I first started, um, I couldn't stand doing that.
Mm.
Like, I couldn't stand cutting videos. We used to run this podcast called Friday Coffee Break, but it was on, we had those flip phones. Those flip phones, I used to do it, plug it into
Yeah.
my computer, and then I would do all of the copy, and we would just send it out. This is back in, I think it was '06, '07. So we were doing that every Friday. It was pretty cool. It was actually fun, but the production of it, what we found out is that it wasn't consistent. And then we'd skip a week, then we'd skip another, and we'd be, it's just, what happens is if you don't have that help, you'll realize that you're not promoting yourself like you have to, because, we are in a different environment than we were a long time ago,
Right.
you know?
Legitimacy and credibility are at stake on social media now. People think it's like, I just don't want to share my life. I'm sorry. If you're not showing what you're doing, that's the first place people are checking. And
Yeah.
especially with real estate companies, it's very, very important to have a good footprint out there, because that's one of the first places they're going is this person real? Are they on social media? Are you walking around houses? Prove to me you're who you say you are. And that is, yeah, man, that's how you do it. And like you're saying, the filming part's always fun. I can't stand the editing part either, but it's man, zooming out. That's the nature of business. You mentioned earlier, like as you grow, the different you start to adjust and you start to change. So if you are leading your company and you still are finding yourself editing videos, that is not the highest and best use of your time. You
Yeah.
are you're doing a $5, $6 an hour task that you can get paid for now. And what's your rate? 1,000 an hour, right? If you're
Right.
actually working. So you're literally
Yeah.
trading thousands of dollars for 20 bucks. So
Yeah.
I love that, just showing if you're going to grow anything, you're not going to do it alone. I really feel like that's been the essence of our
Right.
conversation this whole time is we can't do anything alone. You can't close a house alone. You don't have
Hmm.
all the skill sets. You're not all the licensed things that you got to be to do it. And then even like your business, you can't do every part alone and grow.
Yeah.
Every entrepreneur hits the ceiling where they're just maxed out. You run out of time, you run out of brain energy, and the first thing that's going to go is the stuff you hate doing. Those things
Yeah.
that just eat at your brain. And those are the little things that make a business keep going. So, man, adding one in there for social media, that's a
Yeah.
strong one, the marketing section. Where's another one that would be good?
Yeah, lead generation, it's driving leads into your business. I think it's important because I get this question all the time. They're saying, "Hey, um, I want a virtual assistant to close contracts for me." And I say, "Listen, that's not what you should use a virtual assistant for. I've tried it. I've tried all these positions. It's actually driving in leads to your business. So whether it's you, your partner, or one of your acquisition guys closes that contract." And then because it's a higher level skill. We talked before this call about, one of the things that we are doing right now. It's a lot of training on sales, right? I think we know this. Everything in this world is sales. You look at this phone all the time. Everything on Instagram, whether it's politicians, whether it's business people, whether it's teachers, it doesn't matter. Everything is sales. A teacher has to sell their kids onto listening to them. So everything out there is sales. So we have to look at that as, are you going to ask a virtual assistant to um, teach you or sell your kid to stay in front of a computer so they can learn something? It's definitely not going to happen, right? It's the same thing. So use them to drive in leads. Also use virtual assistants on the dispo side, on the TC side, transaction coordinating. We have a ton of virtual assistants that work with property managers as well in accounting. So they all fit within, all the workflow.
I love that, man. And it's in positioning to them to their strength. I have heard a lot of, I want them to get to do
Mhm.
the closing thing too, but you nailed it. You wouldn't you wouldn't have them go pick up a box full of 50 grand for you, would you? Right. That's not their job. That is it's like you said, it's driving it in. So when you're thinking about bringing somebody in for your business, it's positioning them well, getting them in that spot, and what are those places where you don't need to be, right? So if you don't have your standard operating procedures written out, write them out, because that's where you'll really be able to identify what can I offload? Who can I give this to? Because they're going to need that for the training portion. So besides the standard operating procedures, is there anything else someone would need to be set up for before they bring a VA in?
Yeah, you know, we have a hundred plus task list too. They could download on our website just to give them ideas as well. But and you nailed it. Be prepared, and this is what we see the most successful individuals do. They know why they want their virtual. They know what tasks they want that virtual assistant to do. Because what you run into sometimes, unfortunately, is that they come in, they say, you know, I need all this help. And then we start talking to them. Well, what help do you need? Well, I don't know. And they're not really, they're kind of scattered a little bit. And that's how I failed when I first started using my first virtual assistant. I didn't know what I wanted them to do, but I knew I needed help. Until I
Right.
actually took a step back, I looked at this phone, I realized, to your point, I wrote down all of the tasks that were not producing income producing tasks versus non-income producing tasks. And those are the stuff that I started offshooting, whether it's building a buyer's list, whether it's lead generation, whether it's social media, whether it's helping with, inputting stuff on the MLS, if it's helping transaction coordinating, if it's lease renewals, leases on the property management. There's a laundry list of stuff you could do, but just need to know exactly what your biggest pain point is.
Mm. Clarity, man. Clarity. It lands on that stretches through your whole business. So I really appreciate you bringing that point up. All right. So you've been doing this a long time. You've got success, not only in real estate investing, but the VA business along with it. You've been using them in your own business. You've laid out what we need to look for and prep for. You mentioned a checklist. So for those who are listening and watching, where can they go find that checklist at to download themselves and then possibly set up a call with you, reach out to you if they need to?
Yeah, the easiest way is to go to revaglobal.com, REVA global.com. We have the 100 plus task list right on our website. You could just download it. And there's also a strategy session button that you could also jump on a call. If you have any questions at all, just book a call and we'll get on a call.
Man, thank you so much for sharing. Appreciate you being here today. Everybody will listening and watching in, check the show notes. We'll have Bob's website there. Like I say on this show, reach out to the real professionals. Talk to people who are doing this day in and day out. Get their information. This is a changing business and landscape all the time. Work with the folks. Learn from people just like Bob. Make sure you're setting yourself up for success. So thanks again, Bob, for being here. Everybody,
Thanks,
if you
man.
got value out of today's episode, please like this episode. Share it with someone else that needs to learn more about VAs and how to pick them. And as always, don't forget, subscribe to our podcast. We appreciate every single one of you that follows along with us out there. We've got more conversations coming up with folks just like Bob out there building a real business in the industry. Thanks so much. We'll see you on the next episode.
Thanks for joining us for today's Real Estate Pros Show. You can learn more about the amazing benefits of the Investor Fuel Mastermind community, including surrounding yourself with hundreds of other rock stars, 100% financing for your deals, and members-only discounts from vendors you're likely already using that, as a member of Investor Fuel, will save you more than the cost of your membership. Visit investorfuel.com to learn more. If you're interested in joining us as a guest of this show, please visit investorfuel.com/pros to apply. You can also check the show notes for access to free resources, how to get access to world-class lead generation, and much more. Don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another episode. Have a great day. We'll see you on the next show.